Hello, my name is Ben. This is Slow Lock number 3, and welcome to Not Reality. In the last episode of these vlogs, I showed a slow knot that didn't make it and talked about how lucky I was to have made it as far as I have. Sadly, tragically, strangely, the very next night, one of my co-patients here in the unit did not make it and took their own life at 1:30 in the morning. So with that, I would like to take just a moment's silence between us all to remember all of ours that have not made it. So, it's taken me a few days to process what happened and to come to terms with it. I've not wanted to continue this series of vlogs, I've not wanted to make this video, but we carry on because I found it all very poignant, obviously, and the loss of that person has inspired me to fight even harder and make sure that I do my best to make it in her honour. So I've dedicated my recovery in her name. She won't be named for obvious reasons. But yeah, this one's for you, kid. So yeah, don't stay silent, do stay awesome. If you know someone or you yourself are struggling with mental health issues, please reach out and try your best to get some help. There was a time where I used to look very differently on suicide, quite flippantly on suicide, but those things have changed. We've all got a right to be here, we've all got a right to be happy, we've all got a right to a good life, we've all got a right to love and support. And yeah, as I keep repeating, it's important. I'm not going to dwell on it. I talk to her every day and drew her a picture. Some of you might have seen it. It's now in Pride of Place on the art room wall, where it will stay, hopefully, for a very, very long time. I can't see anybody taking it down in a hurry. So she's gone but not forgotten, and will always be remembered. And moving on. So, in the last episode of these vlogs, I talked about how I needed to get some help and support and how I needed to do some extra work. I did the extra work, I contacted the charity, they said they'd help me, they never got back to me. Bad show, charity. Never mind, you're obviously very, very busy. There's a lot of people out there that need help, and luckily I've got my amazing advocate who stuck up for me, and I myself made sure that I was heard. And good news, I'm being discharged from hospital on Monday, which is obviously a change, something that will be different. I've been out of mainstream society now for, well, if you include the couple of weeks I spent living in the woods, a couple of months now, almost. So yeah, I'm moving to it's like supported living. It's the next step down from this environment. It's in the centre of town. So I'm going to go from being surrounded with woodlands to being surrounded with people. And in theory, I shouldn't actually be there. They've pushed really hard from the NHS's end, thank you NHS, to make sure that I can get into this place. It's actually, weirdly, it's run by a homeless charity, but it's only for people who have an address. And I will be an exception to the rule by being there. They're also making exceptions and giving me extra support. They're basically doing everything they can to make sure that the hard work that has been done on this site is not undone when I get out. But the burden of that sits on me. For only I can make sure that I stay on this path that I have set myself on. So we are going to implement regime and make sure that each day I'm doing at least a few of the certain basics. This morning I have gotten up, smashed a shower. I've commented on my personal hygiene in the past before. We don't need to drag that smelly being back up. I'm doing this. So I've decided that every morning before breakfast, I had that egg sandwich in the end, by the way. I'm going to do a little bit of art, be it one of the vlog entries, whether it's a slow knot or a speed knot. Smash my supplements down. I started taking vitamin supplements. What have we got? We've got cod liver oil and omega-3. We've got iron. We've got coenzyme with extra B1, multivitamins, vitamin C, and full spectrum CBD, which I've got to say is the absolute tits. If you haven't gotten on the CBD train yet, give it a go. There is a reason I can only assume that our bodies have a system which is specifically designed to receive cannabinoids. It's not just for getting high, kids. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking THC, but I am knocking substance abuse 100%. But yeah, so up, shower, supplements, art, breakfast, and that's about as far as I've managed to get with organising this plan in my head. I did myself a lovely little poster with the routine and regime on it. Now, I used to sneer at people who made lists and who had little posters up telling them how to live their lives, because I was so right, wasn't I? And that was the alcoholic, that was the younger man, and that was not wanting to accept where I was at. So we're moving on, and we're implementing the regime and the routine and the recipe for a successful recovery. Because now, after the tragedy and after all of the hard work that's gone on to get us to the point where I and the psychiatric professionals I've been working with feel that I'm now ready for discharge, we're going to do our best to make sure that it was all for something and not for nothing. Another big thing that happened on the day before it all happened was I had a major wobble. In fact, I think it was on the day I made the last slow knot video, and I freaked out and I lost my shit, and I realised just how vulnerable I can be, and just how much I still hadn't fully taken my mask off of my face, as it were, when I was told that I was likely to go into an unsupported environment with other active alcoholics and substance abusers. I resigned myself to my fate. I went, oh well, that's life. Tough shit. You're gonna have to man up, put up, and tough up. But that was not how I was really feeling inside. And eventually, I took that mask off and let people know that I was afraid, that I felt vulnerable, that I thought that relapse was highly likely if I was in that sort of an environment. And they listened. So once again, guys, particularly guys, but also you girls out there, if you need to hear it, all of us need to hear it from time to time. Take the mask off, be vulnerable, let people know if you're in pain, let people know if you're struggling, be it family, be it friends, be it professionals. Get it out. Talk about it, shout about it, scream about it. Nice sound, isn't it? But get it out. So I don't know really what else to say at this very moment. As you know, these aren't pre-planned or scripted. I just wanted to continue this and make sure that I didn't sit there with the axe of swallow up number 3 hanging over my head and an uncontinued project. Is that something I've done in the past? Starting things, not finishing them, and then making myself feel like shit for doing so. And plus, you know, it's not like millions of people are watching these and I'm some big social media presence I don't want to be. This is you talking to yourself, Ben. Remember that. This is you vocalising your inner train. Let's talk about my progress, as it were, then. So where are you at? You're in a very different place to where you were on the 28th of May. The suicidal thoughts have all but gone, really. You're ready for the next stage? As much of a change as it might be, it won't be that big a change. You've got support, you've been reassured. You're going to have a working professional with you every day for your first week on a visit, making sure that you're settling in. You've got to make sure that you keep smashing those meetings. I didn't go to AA this week because for the first time on the unit I actually felt capable of relaxing. I sadly developed a bit of paranoia over the last week. Thought I was being constantly assessed and monitored, felt that I couldn't relax and be happy. So instead of going to AA this week, one of the healthcare assistants here put a lot of time and effort with one of the other patients into doing a burger night. So we went to that and the burgers were spot on. Some of the best ones I've had, better than burgers I've paid for out there in the real world. But that was that. What's to come is to come, and the meetings are gonna be a huge part of staying on the path. If you've got a booze problem or a drugs problem, I thoroughly recommend them. Those 9 words really did have a huge impact in my mindscape. Let's say them now, just to remind ourselves. Hello, my name is Ben, and I am an alcoholic. So not only am I going to continue to be with the fellowship, I'm also going to engage in some other support groups, such as Narcotics Anonymous. I reckon some of the stories there are going to be quite interesting and possibly more relevant to some of my experiences. As for the AA group here at the hospital, I'm not sure whether I'll reattend. I'm not sure whether I want to come back to this site. Definitely not straight away anyway. Give a little bit of space and distance between us. And let it... Well, actually, no, bollocks to that. I am going to have to come back to the site. I've got a friend in here who sadly isn't as lucky as me. So where I'm an informal patient, he's here on a section. There are a few types of section, one of which only lasts a month. That was the one he was on. But because when you're on section, you're not in control of your stay, they can change it, and the poor sod has just been upgraded and put on section 3, which potentially means he might have to stay here for another 6 months, no matter how he feels about it. So I will be coming back here because I promised him that I've got his back and I'll be there for him because he's my mate, and it's been nice having the two of us here together, and I don't like the thought of leaving the man behind because he's a good lad. His problems, I was about to say, are more severe than mine, but each to our own. So just like good old Arnie, I will be back to make sure I've got my mates back. And I suppose it's quite a nice little moment to leave this video on because we are getting towards the end of the knot. I did a more simplistic knot today because I didn't want this one to drag on. I didn't know what I had to say. I was feeling a bit weird about it, having to talk about the loss of our dear friend. Not that we were particularly friends, we've only spoken a couple of times, but we shall refer to it as that. So yeah, let's leave it there. I hereby vocalise that I dedicate my recovery to you. You know who you are. The date is the 22nd of the 6th, 19. That is slow note number 3. This is not reality. I am Ben, and thank you for watching. Have a fucking awesome day. Don't stay silent. Do stay awesome.